Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. We are live here at 7:25 a.m. And whether you're tuning in through Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, or if you're an audio podcast listener, we just want to say thank you for tuning in to NIM Today, News in Motion, for your relevant commentary and call to action news. Today is Wednesday, November the 15th, 2023. Happy hump day to everyone out there. Happy hump day. We are in the middle of the week, and next week, and especially next Thursday, it is Thanksgiving. So please let us know what you got going on for the menu. If you're going to be cooking, if you're going to have family over, or if you're going to, just chill out for this Thanksgiving, not really do too much. Um, Please let us know in the chat as you are coming in. Um, but today is Wednesday, so we have an exciting show for you today. Good morning to you, Miss Adrian, who is tuning in through YouTube. Good morning, Miss Deborah Johnson, tuning in through Facebook. Good morning, Miss Marion Jackson, also tuning in through YouTube. Good morning, Miss Kim Emerson, and happy hump day to you as well. And good morning, Miss Stephanie Burbridge Hall, just to name some of the people who are coming up in here as we are getting ready to listen into a brand new edition of News in Motion. So y'all know what we do over here. We'll be right back after this brief intro.
News in Motion.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning to all of you. I also see Robert Holman coming in here, Dr. Antoinette coming in here. Adrian is loving the music. Thank you, Dr. Antoinette, for sharing the news in motion with Gail E. Dudley. I appreciate that so much. Listen, we have a lot of news, but real quick, I want to respond. Good morning, Jeff Payne. Good morning to you. I want to respond to some of our LinkedIn viewers. They have been sending in DM saying, we don't see all the chat. LinkedIn, when you come through StreamYard, there's a disconnect. So we can see your chat. So that's why I tried to grab it. And then I tried to read out what's in the chat from the others, because for some reason it does not link back to you all. So we're still working on how we can make this work so that you can be a part of the entire chat. I even think in YouTube, I don't think you're seeing the Facebook chat. I think you're seeing the chat among yourselves. So I think that's how StreamYard works. So that's why we try our best to speak into what's out there. I see my brother coming in here, Louis Pryor, Regina Shores. What's up, Donita and Shardinia, and my sister, Patricia Laus. Speaking of Patricia Laus, I just want to, before I really get into anything, I just want to take a moment and give our sincere prayers going out to all the family and friends of loved ones that were lost here in Ohio off of Interstate 70 on yesterday. It was a horrific accident involving a semi, to my understanding, ran into the back of a chartered bus taking band members to Columbus, Ohio to perform. The latest I received, and I'm not for sure if this is the correct number, there were 6 fatalities, 3 of those being students. Many injuries, more than at least 18 who were injured. Multiple cars caught fire. So we just really want to pray and send our condolences to those family members who lost loved ones and friends who lost loved ones. We want to pray for the students. I mean, I'm sure that's going to be a lot of unpacking and counseling for the trauma that they witnessed. So just want to pray for all involved. So I wanted to make sure I said that, and I just mentioned my sister because working at a children's hospital, I know she may have been aware of some of that. So Yeah, sorry to start it that way, but I wanted to put that out there. Good morning, Pastor Alex. Good morning to you. All right, y'all, we have a lot of news. We have a lot of news. Again, we want to give a shout out to Davia Williams Stevenson. Her podcast, Tales from the Shaker, returns on this Friday. So we can get that image up, Isaiah. We want to pop that up there just to remind all of you if you it's going to be found on whatever podcast you listen to. But if you want the video, make sure you subscribe to her YouTube so that you can get the alerts for that. This new season is coming out this Friday and it is straight fire. So we want to continue to support her in the work that she's doing. So thank you. Thank you. And I see you, Deborah Sneed, coming in here. Good morning as well. All right, y'all, 3 days to go, and there's a bill on the table. CNBC News reports that the CR, continuing resolution, will fund parts of the government until January the 19th and the other until February the 2nd. I know it makes no sense to me either. Absolutely no sense, but it is what it is. Okay, I see you, Karen, coming in here. Once it's approved by the Senate, where Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said they're going to sign this thing, it will go to President Joe Biden, and he's already said he's going to sign it. Now, they have until Friday, 11:59 p.m., but I'm sure it's going to move faster than that. Now, y'all, the final tally was 336 in favor and 95 opposed. Now, y'all know good and well who those 95 are. That's your Freedom House caucus, okay? Now, this bill actually is it's like kind of pretty smooth sailing than the Kevin McCarthy bill. So you have Matt Gaetz coming out on all the news stations yesterday saying that Mike Johnson better fall in line because they all supported him to be speaker or he'll be out of his seat. I'm like, dude, sit down, just take a seat. Can we just get the work done? Period. So that's what's happening here. There were two Democrats that said no to it. Now, this is what you call a clean bill. So I'm sure some of you wonder, what is a clean bill? A clean bill is when you put a bill on the floor and you're just doing amendments, if you will. So y'all know I got a copy of it. Yvonne, you on here because I had to get nosy. So this is HR 6363. So when I say clean bill, I'm gonna make this real. I'm not going through this, y'all. I'm gonna make this real easy for y'all, so I can just explain to y'all what a clean bill looks like. I want to get to the part of Medicare because it's towards the back. All right, so Medicare. So you see, if you can see that, you see subtitle D, Medicare. So a clean bill works like this. It says like Section 502, revising phase in of Medicare clinical laboratory test payment changes. Then it goes on to say, strike out January 1st, 2024, inserting January 2024. So all they're doing is striking out a date, adding in a date. It makes it clean. It makes all the amendments just continue on to the next. Yeah, Kim Emerson, he needs to just take several seats for real. So that's what a clean bill is. So they really didn't do much to this at all. And here's why the 95 are tripping. Because have you heard them say on the news, or some of the pundits, or some of the House Freedom Caucus, if they get on the news or do their media soundbite or whatever, they're saying we're not in agreement with the Nancy Pelosi bill. If you've heard that, it's because this is Nancy Pelosi's bill. And all they did was just make some changes to get it through so that they're continuing to fund the government until the new year. I say kudos to them because I did not want to see anybody without their job going into the holiday. So that's what's happening. So this is the HR 6363. So we're going to do a quick review. That's what we do here on News in Motion. We're talking about the types of bill. Now, HR stands for the House of Representatives. HR Res stands for the Resolution of the House of Representatives. I have my cheat sheet just so I make sure I remember. The S stands for Senate. We talked about this. And then SB, Senate Bill. HB, House Bill. We've already talked about all those. And then S Res stands for Resolution of the United States Senate. H Con Res stands for concurrent resolution. Y'all know CR, continuing resolution. And then HJRES and SJRES stands for joint resolution. So just to really take that, y'all know what the H stands for and the S stands for. Well, B stands for bill. C stands for concurrent. J stands for joint. Okay, so just when you see those, understand what they are. And so also with the clean bill, they had to update the number for it to go 6363. So that's just a little lesson I wanted to share with all of you who are wondering what do all these initials stand for. Now, the reason we take our time and walk through some of this here on News in Motion for anybody new coming in is because you may see some of these things when we're going to vote, things that are on the ballot. Some of these issues and amendments and referendums and measures and so forth, they'll use initials. So get familiar with the initials so you know, and then have an understanding. Well, what does the joint resolution mean? It means that they came together. Or what does a concurrent resolution mean? It means it's a concurrent bill that's continuing. What do all these things look like? What is a bill? Is a bill the legislation that comes to the table? No, those are two different things. Okay, they have a discussion. Like for example, this House of Representative bill 6363. They talked about it on Monday. They had time. They were giving them 72 hours to read it, but it was a shorter time period to read because they knew it was a clean bill. So when he said it was a clean bill, they were like, okay, we already know what you're talking about because a clean bill means it has to be former amendments that are coming to the table. Okay, so they knew. So it didn't take them 72 hours to do that. But when we're reading, we need to understand these things so we know. Well, if it's a new number, go look it up. Yeah, all of this stuff is right here at our fingertips. Yes, it takes work. And I realize that many of us do not have all, or many of you do not have all the time to read all these things. So we have pride ourselves on making sure that's the kind of news you receive. Y'all don't miss this. This makes a big difference when you're voting. We have to change the mindset that we're just going by names, what's familiar. Understand what you're agreeing to, people. Please understand this. Please understand this. All right. So, y'all, there was a fight. I was like, when can I get to the fight? There was a fight. There were two fights. There were two. I was like, but let me say this before I say that. This says to me, oh, they are the pressure, they are in the pressure cooker at this point because they're breaking out in fights. I'm like, is this for real? So, y'all, in one corner, we have former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, elbowing, allegedly, Tennessee Rep Tim Burchett. I'm like, what is going on? Latrice Jones said, we got to go back to Schoolhouse Rock. It's just a bit. Let's go there, Latrice. Let's go there, Latrice. My sister said, oh my gosh, I watched them last night. So Kevin McCarthy was in the hallway of Congress, in the Congress hallway, and I guess he elbowed, allegedly, but it looked like he did. He elbowed the guy. And then so the guy called him a bully, said he's been bullying him because he was one of the ones who voted to get Kevin McCarthy out of his seat. And so when he was there doing an interview talking about why he didn't vote for this bill with Mike Johnson because they're just not doing what they said they were going to do. I mean, I'm like, y'all are acting like some elementary school kids. So yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah, listen, that's what we're doing now, Kim Edmondson. So anyway, Tim accused the former House Speaker of elbowing him in the kidneys. Yep, that happened. And he was, again, one of the 8 Republicans that like to get him out of here. So that was in one corner. In the other corner, y'all, and I'm going to tell you, y'all watch C-SPAN. You can see it live all day long. Watch C-SPAN. What's up, Hester Jackson? Watch C-SPAN. So I was in my office minding my business. And I don't know what's happening here. I guess I'm not live in YouTube. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to figure out. So I don't know what's going on. So we're trying to go live in LinkedIn, but it's not letting us. So LinkedIn people, you're gonna have to jump on somewhere else. So LinkedIn, well, welcome. I see LinkedIn's now in here. So welcome if you're tuning in. So y'all, in one quarter, over in the Senate, We had what's his name? Mark Wayne Mullen, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. He going at it with a Teamster. The Teamster is there to have a conversation. They're interviewing the Teamster. So he gets mad. So he pulls out. I am literally in my office, y'all, doing some research, and like C-SPAN is going on. And I'm hearing, I'm like, what is going on? They're gonna go at it. So listen. Uh I don't know why I'm excited about this, but I'm like, oh, they're imploding. They're about to ready to just destroy everything. So he's like pulling out these tweets of all these past things about, you said this on X, you said this about me on X. I'm like, are we really doing this right now? Are you really doing this right now? Reading the tweets, like, you said this about me, like, mommy, so and so said this about me. Are you serious right now? So the guy says, I got to get this. He says, this is the senator saying to O'Brien, the Teamster, he says, this is the time, this is the place. And then he goes on and say, if you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here. I'm like, what are we about to do right here? Monica Lowe said, Dr. Lowe said, I saw that. I'm like literally going, is this for real? So he gets up. Now, Mullins, I know you do martial arts and everything, but you weren't there to fight if you try and take off your wedding ring. Look, in Black land, we put on rings. There's a reason behind that. So we can fight. Y'all, I'm old school. I no longer, and I am not, for all of you high school students watching, Mrs. Dudley does not condone violence, not so ever at all. No, these were grown people, so I got to break it down, okay? So y'all, he was going to take off his ring. I'm like, what is going on? So the Teamster's like, let's do it. Let's go. I'm like, is this happening in the chamber, in the sacred chambers? What is going on? So I gotta keep going, y'all, because the O'Brien, one of his Twitters called him a moron, called Mullins a moron, and then said that he was full of you know what. And then he criticized him, giving him like Mullins thought it was intimidating tactics. So the Teamster said, "You stand your butt up, big guy." I'm like, "Are we for real right now?" I'm like, I can't believe this. So then you have Bernie Sanders, right? He is begging, tapping his gavel, all that stuff. And so he says in a quote, hold it, no, 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 sit down. And then he says, you're a United States Senator, sit down. And so then Bernie goes on to say, and this line is important, so I got to read it. It's a quote. He says, this is a hearing, and God knows the American people have had enough contempt for Congress. Like, if you don't sit down. I was like, what is happening? So you got Kevin McCarthy on the other end of the chamber, and then you have Mullins on the other end of the chamber having their own fights. I'm like, are we serious right now, people? Are we serious? Donita said, I just laughed when the guy stood up. So it was so sad. It was so sad. Good morning, Bergie. Y'all, it was so sad. So that is what's happening. But I also sat back and said, okay, God, what's really going on here? And what I believe that's going on is that the pressure is on. They don't know what to do. So, but here's my question to all of you who are tuning in. That's who you want running the government? Really? And then of course Mullins had to throw in, I make millions. Okay, what does that have to do with you standing up ready to fight? And again, dude, if you want to come to a fight, don't take your rings off. Don't do that. That's no. That's not the right rule right there. Romper room, Kim Edmondson. Yes. Dr. Antoinette said they're desperate. They don't know what to do. So now they're resulting in fighting. But here's a serious note. Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Okay. But here's a serious note. If the former guy gets back in the Oval, what do you think's going to happen? That's going to be an everyday thing. Dr. Lowe said, sad, immature, and a lack of governing. That's why voting and getting informed about the candidates. Yes, yes. Y'all, we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention. Just think though. I want y'all to put the puzzle pieces together. The day before on Monday, and even over the weekend, you had the former guy increasing his rhetoric. saying how he's going to lock people up, how he's going to fire people, how this thing, this, that, and the other is going to happen. That's what he's bringing to the table. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the adrenaline is building even in the chambers. We have to pay attention to that. Dr. Antoinette said, "Don't let your mouth write the check." Yeah, that part can't cash. Yeah. So along with that, I'm going to pat myself on the back for a moment because I have no law degree behind my name at all, and we were up there right about 8:05, 06, or something like that yesterday morning. Well, it was legal experts who wanted to report after 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. After the News in Motion report, I think they watched what we were saying. I think some people be watching us. I really do. Because we had some legal analysts and people at law degrees said that the new Supreme Court code, ethic codes release look good on paper, but only on paper. And they talked about the loopholes, and it was some of the same language I use. I said, y'all watching us. I know y'all are. So, y'all, New York Times reports that the legal expert states that the ethic codes lack enforcement and there's no official process, which everything I said yesterday, right? And I even broke down and read it to y'all. They didn't do any of that. So, but I do want to give a direct quote by Renee Jefferson, who's a law professor at the University of Houston. She says that there's no official process for an individual to file a complaint, and there's not really even any clear way that we can see how the justices will enforce it among themselves. And I thought that was a really good line. Yeah, and she's right. She's right. And again, it'll be in the Friday rundown, so make sure y'all get a copy of that. But I just was like, y'all paying attention to News in Motion, just don't want to tell us, right? So y'all, who leaked the tapes? Let's turn there. And this to me is also desperation. Because right now, as of this morning's reporting, it could be the defense who leaked these tapes. Yeah. So we're going to see how this unfolds. So CNN is reporting that on Tuesday, Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis renewed a motion for a protective order of discovery materials and said that the release of these confidential video recordings is clearly intended to intimidate the witnesses in this case. And they said it's only likely, because it really doesn't help the prosecution at all, it's only likely that it's coming from the defense camp, because it's to intimidate them, to get them to be quiet. But it's kind of late now because they got them on tape, by subjecting them to harassments and threats prior to the trial. And that's exactly what's happening with the former guys. People, tribe, whatever, they started the intimidation. They said included in the motion by prosecutors was an apparent omission via email from one of Trump's co-defendants. So there's that. So there's an omission. And here's the quote. It was Harrison Ford's team. Todd Harding, Floyd's attorney, said in the email thread to the DA's office, apparently acknowledging they leaked the videos. The email chain included current and former defense attorneys on the case. In a subsequent email, Harding called the prior email omission a typo. Yeah, right. No, they just tracked it back to your computer. We got it. So now a hearing is scheduled today at 1:30 Eastern time. So there's that. There's that. Kim Edmondson said it was almost the exact same language. Listen. Yeah, you noticed that too. They watching News in Motion. Y'all can let us know that you were in here. Maybe I'll have you on the show and you can give your perspective, or you can just hire me to come do your show. That too. All right, y'all. Mayor Eric Adams. CNN's reporting. We talked about this last week. We're like ahead of the game, right? We talked about how his former campaign finance person, all of her stuff, Brianka's information was confiscated, her device and so forth. Now his is being confiscated. They're going through, they did a raid for him at his home as well. They're focused on campaign money and favors and possible foreign influence, according to officials briefed on the investigation. And this is CNN reporting. CNN was on the news yesterday. Like their alerts were coming out first, at one after another. I was like, CNN is on the case. Did they get a new team or what? But He said, Mayor Adams says he's had a long, proud relationship with the Turkish community. It's nothing new. So, quite frankly, he would get some campaign money from them, but they're trying to track back and look. Now, I find it interesting how quickly they jumped on this with Mayor Eric Adams. But if it was other people in office, it would have taken a little bit longer, really. Pastor Alex says, my issue is that all the justices agreed to support the code of conduct, know that it was paper thin. This makes all of them look suspect. I will agree with you on that. And I think that's why they all signed it. Because even when I saw, yes, I was like, oh, 9 signed it? Like, immediately, like what's really going on here? So yeah, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you, Pastor Alex. So y'all, the FBI is saying they're looking into contacts with the Turkish government officials. I guess there was also a plane ride that Adams took with one of the Turkish executives. So I don't know. This is going to be interesting. So we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. Y'all, again, this is a light week. I gave y'all some information there, but we got to talk about this. We got to talk. I want to hear your perspective. All right. To sing or not to sing on a Delta airline? Yep, y'all. Gospel singer Bobby Storm, who's also been singing with Maverick City Choir, was almost kicked off of, excuse me, a Delta Airlines flight after she ignored the flight attendant who told her to be quiet. I'm like, first of all, who's going to tell somebody to be quiet? All the conversations that are taking place on the plane, like, and the plane hadn't even taken off. The seatbelt sign wasn't even on yet. She was walking down the aisle. She was excited because she's been nominated. She's in the Billboard top 10. Hey. So the flight attendant told her, well, first asked her to take her seat and be quiet. And then she says, okay, I'm sitting down. I guess she was putting the rest of her stuff away. She has a good TikTok up too. She got now part 2 up there as well. And then she said she, went in and sat down and said, well, the seatbelt sign's not even on yet. We're still idling right here. So the flight attendant again, I guess, told her to be quiet. Like, I'm gonna need you to be quiet. Like, sit down and be quiet. So she was talking to the people around her, and they were like enjoying her. She was singing, and I guess the flight attendant again told her to be quiet. I'm curious. Do y'all think that's okay? I mean, I've been on many a Delta Air. I've been on many flights. People sing. People propose to people up in the air. There's some other stuff be going on the planes. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, just all kinds of stuff. I'm thinking, what? Was she singled out? I want to hear y'all's take. What do y'all think? Now, Delta Airlines has since sent out trying to get in touch with Bobby Storm, but then also, and their thing was lame, if you ask me. They said, but it's best to follow the rules of the follow the rules to be quiet? Why do we have to be quiet? I never heard. There's no rule that says that we have to be quiet on a plane. So I want y'all to to comment. I don't see any comments yet. Comment, comment, comment. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? As you're doing that, she has been nominated for 2 Grammy Awards, and her song "We Can't Forget Him." And then she was also individually nominated, but she performs with Maverick City Choir, which is also nominated for 2024 Grammy Awards for the Best Contemporary Christian Music Performance Song and Best Gospel Album for the Maverick Way. And she's featured on that album on the song Firm Foundation. He's going to make a way. Deborah Sneed says, well, I just don't know what to say. Dr. Antoinette says, so the mayor of New York has a higher ethics standard than, well, there's that. That's a good one, Dr. Antoinette. Yep. Yep. Well, come on, we know why, right? So yeah, we have that. So yeah, I wanted to share that with y'all. Keep filling in. I want to hear your take on have you ever had to be quiet on a plane? I'm just curious. Did anybody ever tell you to be quiet? I've never heard this. So I just want to hear y'all's take on that. All right, y'all. So what's for dinner today? Yesterday we talked about pies. Today we're going to talk about dinner. Dr. Monica Lowe said Taylor Swift would not be told to be quiet if flying commercial. Well, there's that. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Love. I appreciate that. Neither would Beyonce, right? Neither would, well, I don't know, maybe she would be. All right, y'all. So what's for dinner? And keep filling up the chat, filling up the chat. Okay, so a dash of jazz, which is soul food, gave these suggestions. and for some reason I can't get it. Let me find these suggestions because they were really, really good. Hold on, y'all. I need to get there. All right, I think I've lost my way. I'm glad we're like chilling today a little bit. I got them now. All right. So this is Dash of Jazz. These are 13 soul food suggestions for Thanksgiving. Baked macaroni and cheese, sweet potato casserole, seafood cornbread dressing. Never heard of that. Buttermilk biscuits, that sounds good. Candied sweet potatoes, okay. Mac and cheese with bacon, okay, or lobster. That's really good, by the way. Mashed potatoes and gravy, peach cobbler, which we talked about that yesterday. Talked about their pound cakes, and then red velvet cakes when it comes to Black people. Y'all know we got to have a red velvet cake. And then the pecan pie, we have to have that, and the sweet potato pie. All right, so that's when we're talking soul food. Now, when we're talking from delish.com, we're talking these following items. Let me see what some of you are saying. Um, Deborah Johnson's back to the singer. She says, never been told to be quiet, but believe me, I have to be respectful of the people around us. I just hate that there's a double standard for how people are treated. Okay. Donita says seafood cornbread dressing. I never heard of that at all. Me either. Jeff Payne says yes, baked macaroni and cheese. All right, so let me give you the standard thing. And then Regina says flight attendant was disrespectful. I thought so too. So we have green bean casserole. Y'all let me know y'all's favorite in the chat. We have, and if you're driving, listen to the podcast, you can chat with us later. We have baked turkey or roasted turkey. Okay. Let's see. Dr. Antoinette says the bishop makes an oyster stuffing. I haven't had that either, y'all. I haven't had that either. Mashed potato casserole. We have our dinner rolls. Sweet potato au gratin. Cranberry sauce. I don't know what it is with us and cranberry sauce, but cranberry sauce. Hester says sometimes I add shrimp to my dressing. I have never heard of that. But I've heard of like lobster mac and cheese. I've heard shrimp or seafood mac and cheese, but not for Thanksgiving. I want the regular macaroni and cheese. Um, uh, Classic stuffing, and I think I mean from the box, okay? Candied yams. Then we have homemade macaroni and cheese. That's what I'm talking about. Cornbread dressing. That's what I'm talking about. Candied carrots. Okay. Honey balsamic glaze Brussels sprouts. I think that's becoming a signature item on all of our recipes when we're going into the Thanksgiving. So yeah, so Brussels sprouts, baked sweet potato. And then I also saw baked sweet potato with marshmallow and pecans on the delish.com. Collard greens, y'all, collard greens. Gotta get the collard greens with the ham hock in there. What's up, Lori? And then the holiday roasted vegetables. So y'all add to that list. Y'all add to that list. Um, Deborah says she grew up with oyster stuffing. I've never had that. Um, Donita said never stuffing from the box. Me either. Me either. But when they said classic stuffing, I was like, that's what they mean. My sister says macaroni, cheese, and corn pudding. Okay, all right. Marion Jackson says whiskey. Oh, whisk. She said whiskey. Let me put my glasses on. Whisk cranberries instead of cranberry sauce. Okay, I thought she was saying she had some whiskey cranberry. All right. Lori says Brussels sprouts are some are good. Listen. Some are good. Cooper Hawk, their restaurant, they're good. They're good. Deborah Johnson says never ever stuffing from the box. Look, you gotta get the bread all crumbled up, the celery, you got to put the right seasoning, the poetry seasoning, the sage in there. You got to put the right stuff in there, and then you got to put the right type of broth in there. Yeah. Deborah Sneed says no green bean casserole. Y'all are funny. Why y'all hating on the green bean casserole? Uh, Cranberry orange cookies. Lord, well, oh, Lord Williams make those. Okay, y'all gotta talk to me. Pastor Alex, tell me about your wife and that. Oh, she said it is whiskey, can't cranberries. Okay. Well, now y'all can get drunk eating cranberries. Y'all are hilarious. Kim Edmondson says, my dad requests oyster dressing every year. I've never heard of that. Ever. And then Shirley Nicholson says, collard seasoned with salt, pork, and hocks. Okay. My grandfather used to make the salted ham, gosh, country ham, wherever it's called. And I would eat it when I was young, but then all of a sudden I was like, this is just too much salt, just way too much. So all of that's happening. Yeah, Lori, I did say drunk on cranberries. I really did. I really did. All right, I got a question before I give y'all the inspirational message, and I want y'all to weigh in. Today is the wash day, which is also the day that I go and remember I only go see my hairstylist 4 times a year now. It's just a blessing. But today is the day I go, and I want y'all to weigh in. Let's see. Pastor Alex says Dr. Sykes makes those cookies delicious. Oh, they're good. Now, what are they again? Bring that one back up, Isaiah. Orange something. I don't know where it is, and Isaiah is missing. Donita says that's the way I cook them too. Oh, with the ham and the hocks. Y'all are all the way live in here. So I lost the cookie thing. So if y'all can put that up there, that'd be great. I want to know what you're talking about. Something. All right. So back to my question before I go to the inspirational message. Gray or no? I'm kind of liking the gray. So I want to know what y'all thought. I want to hear what y'all have to say. Oh, there's Isaiah. Isaiah, put up the cookie one from Dr. Antoinette again. We want to see what kind of cookie she's talking about. Um, okay, cranberry orange cookies. All right. Put that recipe somewhere so somebody can test it out here. Deborah says she loves the gray. All right. So we're going to see. We're going to see. So y'all can weigh in on that too. As you're doing that, let me give y'all the inspirational message today. Now I'm in Mark 11. I'm in Mark 11 again, verses 27 through 33. Um, it's very interesting. I've been following just how these things are done. Well, they asked a question. You have to read it for yourself, but they asked a question. Jesus asked, they discussed it among themselves. They answered, we don't know. This is people, they're trying to ask Jesus. Here's the backstory. Who said you can do what you're doing? And Jesus asked them a question back, and they discussed it among themselves. And then they came back and said, we don't know, because they didn't have an answer. Deborah Sneed says, yes, love the gray as well. Y'all serious? My sister says, might as well join me. I love rocking my gray, sister. You do. You look good in it. You look good in it. So Jesus replied, neither will I tell you, but by what authority I am doing these things. So they said they didn't know. So he said, well, neither will I tell you. Now, when I was reading this, I started thinking about all of us, okay? And I started thinking about how we try to prove this and prove that. And what I got from this script, y'all read on your own, Mark 11, 27 through 33. People can inquire whatever they want, but we don't have to answer them. Y'all stop trying to think. We got to stop thinking we have to answer everybody who asks a question. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that because we're what we're doing is that we're trying to prove to somebody why we're doing what we're doing, especially when we're being led of God to do something. We don't know anybody an explanation. And here it is. They're not going to understand it anyway. They're not going to understand it anyway. Dr. Antoinette says, my gray would not be tamed. She won. Well, there's that. Um, so when you are doing what God has instructed, these are my notes. When God has instructed you to do, you, me, we, owe no one an explanation. Just keep doing as God is leading. That was very clear when I was going through this. And then I wrote these words in my notes. We spend so much time on explaining ourselves, which actually takes away time from working on the assignment. My notes from working on the assignment. So when we're explaining, and we're answering, and they're asking more questions, and we're responding, we're literally taking away the time that we should be using on working on the assignment. Yeah, Hester, no explanation required. Because again, many people won't understand it in the first place. They don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. And they're more than likely asking a question because they're trying to deter you from doing it. And the only way they think they can stop you is if they're quizzing you about it. Y'all, we gotta be smarter than that. We got to be smarter than that. And we just have to make the decision. No, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And I don't owe you an explanation as to why I'm doing it. All right, y'all, we got tomorrow. We're here tomorrow. And then we are taking a break all next week. And we'll say more tomorrow, but we're going to have fun tomorrow. I have 2 tickets to give away here in Columbus, Ohio for the color purple. Y'all, it's a sold out event. It is a sold out event. That's why you don't hear us talking about it anymore. We have a private screening on December the 9th at 12 noon. It is sold out. But we're going to give away, I don't know if we're giving away 2 tickets tomorrow or 1. We'll see. We're going to give away at least a ticket tomorrow for the color purple, and we're going to give away something else. So all these things I was teaching yesterday, today, a couple things last week, be ready. So that you know the rules. And we haven't done this in a long time. So that you know the rules. It's who we see comment first. So between myself and Isaiah and the millennials in the background, whoever we see pop up first, we have to go by that way. So let's just have fun. Don't be offended if you're like, well, I wrote it first. On our side, we have a screen, and we'll take pictures of it if we have to and post it so we can show you who said something first. And if it doesn't work, y'all can tell, y'all will know. We won't do it again. And that's why we've been really kind of shy with doing this for a while, because the last time we did it, there was an issue. So we ended up giving more gifts than we had promised, because people were having a problem with who posted first. Although on our end, we have to see it on our end for who's first. And again, if we have to take the pictures, we will. But we just want to have fun. We want to have fun with that. In December, we're still in discussion how long we're gonna come back the week after Thanksgiving. That will take us to the 30th. I won't be on the 30th. Maybe Deborah will be, because that's my 33rd wedding anniversary. So I won't be on the 30th. Maybe Deborah Johnson will. And then we're discussing how we're going to roll out December. So hopefully we'll be doing that soon. But with that, y'all, this is News in Motion. I am your host, Gail Dudley. Those of you who keep asking about investing, please do. We're competing with AI, so we need your help. If you have any questions, you can let us know. I'm waiting for Isaiah to get back in the thing. Oh, I see Isaiah. So this is what we're going to do. If you have any questions, let us know. But y'all, until tomorrow, 7:25 a.m., stay well, keep making some bold moves, live your life in abundance. We're out.
NewsInMotion.